Hello, my name is Sean Goslin, and today we will be discussing second impact syndrome in contact sport athletes and non-athletic populations. The research I conducted was done with the research question, does second impact syndrome only affect contact sport athletes and not non-athletes? I hypothesized that second impact syndrome would see greater increase in contact sport athletes because they are more at risk of trauma. Research conducted centered around second impact syndrome and its prevalence in both sport and non-athletic populations. Second impact syndrome is defined as a rare condition associated with malignant brain swelling, usually occurring in young athletes with previous concussion history, as seen in Figure 1, young athletes' brains before and after second impacts. Articles covered in this study center around head trauma or concussions leading to second impact syndrome or related head trauma. Major takeaways from the specific research are second impact syndrome can sometimes show up like normal on the first imaging, as seen in Figure 2, CT after suspected second impact. Second impact syndrome has a tendency to go downhill without warning in most cases, as seen in Figure 3, an active case of second impact syndrome. Second impact syndrome, despite showing with more than one definition, can be used to mean the same thing. Second impact syndrome has a greater tendency to appear with larger concussive forces. Through the course of my research, I found that second impact syndrome does have prevalence in non-athletic and athletic populations. Also, that second impact syndrome, the medical term, does not have a nailed down definition. The second definition I found was repetitive head injury syndrome, described as a condition in which individuals experience a second head injury before completely recovering from the initial injury. I also found that education is key with second impact prevention. The study that I found that broke my hypothesis was about PCS, a subset of second impact syndrome in Africa, and how dangerous occupations lent themselves to creating more instances of PCS and thus second impact syndrome. Future experiments. In the future, I hope that second impact syndrome will in fact get funding for research. Second impact syndrome should be investigated further on the grounds that, well, we know enough, we don't know enough. There is room for more investigation. Second impact syndrome could be further investigated by taking survivors and questioning them in a cross-sectional study.